All right, and we are back. The Jake Podcast, segment 2 with crazy Aaliyah. We do have a few other individuals that snuck into the. You can probably hear them scurrying about. And so what is it? All of a sudden, it's the porn collection, right? The porn collection.
Because I knew you had one. I just never wanted to ask. 'Cause
No,
I already knew.
Dude, everyone has some. Nobody has like porn collections anymore, right? Everything is viable. You click and it's updated daily, right? You don't even need. The hard part is what I did find is saving the page, right? So even if you're on Pornhub or whatever, any of the things where you just get
RedTub.
yeah, whatever, RedTube, whatever. And you click what I've done because there were a couple. I was like, oh my God, I could so work out to this for quite some time. Like I could put in a lot of work to this. Like it's good. Like I had already finished, but I felt like I could go for more, but I do have some things to do today. Like I can't just sit here and shuck the corn all day long. You know, I should probably go be a productive member of society.
Oh no, you looking at porn is very productive.
Well, yeah, no, not if I'm at the house because it makes me sleepy and I'll take a nap afterwards.
But you get to feel that release.
Well, yeah, for sure. But sometimes to go out and be the best you can be, you kind of need that edge. And if you've taken the edge off and whatever, there's no edge left to be had. But I found that if I save the page, right? And it's weird because if you really want to, like that one's got some good ones. That's basically my porn machine, doubled as podcasting central. It's also my personal porn hub. But I save the page and I'm like, oh, and every now and again I'll forget and I'll go to favorites and it goes down. I'm like, oh, there it is. You know, it's like, oh, it's the equivalent of like in cyberspace running into a chick that, oh, I can probably retap this, right? Just in creepy, I'm going to retap myself.
Holy shit. My virgin ear.
Whatever, bro. You're creepier than everybody on the planet.
That is a lie.
And you came with the you're the one who begged the question. It wasn't like I went, hey, let's talk about my porn collection. You decided to talk about a porn collection that doesn't exist because it's all inside the magic computer box.
No, I assumed you had like Playboy or something. At least some gas station porn.
Some
because
old,
you were so lazy
some
to
old
get.
school. That was like 2008, bro.
You had gas station porn.
Dude, I'll get it wherever I get. It was party. Let's get it straight. It was party store porn, right? That's where you'd get the good stuff. Nobody gets porn at a gas station, or you're in real dire straits that you need it there.
Like, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to feel it.
But you mentioned your friends. Your friends weird got to have their stuff in HD, right? And they buy it and do whatever.
Hell yeah.
Is everything free out there? I don't know why you have to spend
Because he's
money.
rich. When you're rich, you can do whatever you want.
I guess.
You're rich. You just don't do it. Wait, you do whatever you want.
Kind of, sort of, but I don't spend money. Whatever comes out of that magic computer box is perfectly fine for me. Like I don't need more. It's quite okay.
You
and
need our nipples.
no, I mean I need weird shit to go on in the porn, but I also don't need it to be so crystal it looks like I'm looking through a window on my computer. You know what I mean? It's fine. Although, and this is where I began to hit the button, the new goggle things that you can get, and you put your phone in the end of the goggles, the VR goggles. That's neat. It's point of view. Like it looks like yeah, like you look down and there's a man's like body and you're looking at whatever. The girls talk to you in the thing. It's fucking weird.
Do you have it?
No, I don't.
I assumed you did.
No, and I don't know. It's kind of weird. It gives me a bit of like it makes me like wobbly. Like when I look at it, I'm way too observant and attached to like this realm that we're in. To do that, it kind of freaks me out. The first time I saw the VR goggles, I looked at them and this is neat. And you could like look around the room and there's a fireplace. And like if you go into the Netflix app and you're just going to watch Netflix with your crazy goggles on or whatever, you look and there's a table and you go to reach and touch the table and the table's not there. Like it made me like sick to my stomach. It made me feel weird. So, and my buddy just went, dude, look at this and whatever. And they both put the goggles on me and made me watch. And I was like, dude, that's neat. I could totally see being into this. But I don't, like, at no part in my day when I'm like, I really need to work it out real quick, do I go, you know what? That's good. But let me go on Amazon and find those goggles and do whatever and get them on their way and then go. I'm kind of, tunnel vision to try and get it done all at that point.
But with all the sex you have you ever thought about becoming a porn star?
No, never. It was never thing. And it comes in waves. There's plenty of months where it's dry. There's no shenanigans, sex, and whatever. I've just had a really good year this year. It's red letter year. If I was like baseball, I'd be like, if I was a pitcher, I'd be up for the Cy Young Award or whatever. Like I would be getting some kind of MVP because it was good. It was a good year. It's all dried up now. I've just got the one chick who's not cool with dogs, so I'm gonna cut her loose and I'll be back to. I'll probably get the VR goggles. I'll probably need them soon. If I don't
believe you're exposing her like this. That's crazy.
Why not? What do I care?
When it rains, it pours,
Yeah, and take it while you can. But yeah, I don't know. Well, speaking of that, I busted your chops about, since you're quick with the last segment with pubic hair and when did you go into puberty and just started saying random stuff. I called this earlier the millennial edition because everyone in here, you guys are all card-carrying members right now. But you and your friend with the I'm vegan this week, right? It drives me insane. Jake, I'm vegan, and what is this and that? I was like, no, you're not. I was like, you can't just label yourself and say you're a vegan. You're just not eating meat for a week, and I guarantee you guys will slip up and do whatever. And you like the whole what is it, how is it, what food groups even associate with it, and whatever, you guys were completely baffled. So.
No, I stopped being vegan because I do find it a little retarded because I'm like, okay, it's one thing to give up meat. Like, if you want to be vegetarian, I'm not going to stop you. Like, that's normal. But they skipped vegetarian. They went straight into vegan. I'm just like, why?
And I have to believe that, like, true vegans, like, not like y'all who are just trying on the vegan suit for a week. Like, let me wear this hat and see how it fits and whatever. Because, and I also busted y'all's chops about girls dating girls, right? I think it's rude. I think it's being greedy. Like this week, I like girls and whatever, and then next week, no, I'm doing this and this, and I'm like, no, and then this week you're vegan. Like, I swear, I wish I could, like, I need to start charting it and write it down. Like, okay, they were vegan this week. Your friend now wants only date girls. Nope, she's back to dudes. Nope, gay guys.
No, she only wants a guy with a little dick. It's just that the thing is with her, they all happen to always be gay. And I keep telling her, I'm like, dude, that guy's gay. She's like, no, they're not. They're gay.
Yeah, she has a horrible radar.
Like, for real. And then she's like, I'm lesbian. How can I not detect this? Because either you're blind or you're stupid or you're just straight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those. I don't know what it is. It's interesting for me because I get to live vicariously through y'all's weird, like, what you're going to do this week. And it happens, like, every week. Just, I'm only going to do this or I'm going to do that. And then a week later, just nothing. And then when I bring it up, I'm like, haha, what happened? I'm waiting for, like, I couldn't do it. No, that was no fun. This week, I'm this. And I'm like, I hate you guys. And look, I've had my fair share of dealing with girls who like girls, right? And either date girls and sometimes date guys, and it just seems like pick a side already, like just pick a side. I mean,
play for both teams.
Well,
I'm a team player.
Well, no, you were definitely a team player in theory. In theory, because you were like, my wife and whatever, and I was like, what? This moved awfully quickly. Have you done anything? Well, no. But
because it's stupid. I was really high, and I'm like, and she was telling me how single she was. Now she hasn't had a boyfriend in 3 years, and she's like, I'm gonna die alone. I'm like, I'll be your wife to make you feel better. And I didn't even know that happened until my friends told me, like, Elise, so how's the married life? What? You're married? I am.
That's why you don't profess you're a vegan one day. Then somebody sees you with a hamburger and they come and throw red paint on you because you're, killing animals. You got to be careful with what you call, right? And especially like, I will marry you and whatever.
Oh, no, no. The secret to marriage is as long as you got your divorce papers, it's fine. Like, as long as you got your divorce, it's straight.
No, it's going to be interesting to watch this one. She's kooky, bro.
Dude, I'm just afraid what next week's going to bring,
Yeah, no, you never know. Seriously, I come to work like, it's going to be a humdrum week. Hey, we're vegan. Do you know what this is? And she's got a lady wife and a boyfriend. And I'm like, what?
Her boyfriend is 15.
Yeah, no, that's weird, whatever. Well, and her pseudo-boyfriend, right? She just looks at somebody.
No, that's not even her boyfriend.
I know. Yeah, no, she's an interesting one, too. Like with the, I'm just going to be with girls. And, I need somebody with a small penis. And then, and she will, like, make up in her mind, like, this whole relationship, and the dude hasn't even walked down an aisle and went, what's up? And she's off on some, like, she's drawing, like, pictures and making like it's interesting.
One
No,
question.
she did that with me before. I saw a guy and I was just like, oh, I think he's hot. And she was just like, oh, that's your boyfriend. How?
One question you always gotta ask: do they know?
Yeah, no, that is a good question.
As long as they don't know, the relationship is alive.
Yeah, and it's still strong, right? But and that's a wonderful thing, right? Because like the joy of overall life has left me, right? It's over. It's gone. I get it. I get up in the morning and let my dogs out, do whatever, try and find a chick to wrestle with, and then do it again tomorrow, right? It's the exact same. So I do like the fact that y'all are at that point, because you brought it up to me the other day, and it's been brought up to me in the past, where I give advice like, do something with your life, whatever. I sound like a drill instructor.
Quit your job.
What were you doing? What were you? Okay, so I did tell you to quit your job.
You
So
told
it's not.
him to quit his job, man.
As long as this new job works out, I'm a genius, right? But you weren't going to work there for the rest of your life. You weren't having fun. Dude, have a little bit of fun. Not as much fun as they have, right? Just go to
Wait,
school, do some
what's
stuff.
wrong with what I do?
I'm not gonna change every week. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I
He's
can.
got a good year or two before
I'm
he's.
19. I'm allowed to do that. I can change anything I want. I could be
I'm
bald.
20 and I don't do that.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! I thought
Be
you were
yourself.
15.
That's not Michelle's boyfriend. It may be Michelle's boyfriend. We don't know. I don't think she
said
knows.
No, she said she had like 4 side guys, and she called them all her boyfriends. I was just like, how?
Well, she's.
You can do that?
That's a trip. Well, I like the fact that like life is still fun, because it's gonna get horrible and you're gonna hate it and you're gonna go, oh fuck my life. Why do these bills keep coming? I don't remember buying this, and those things happen, and then it costs every day to get up. And I think I broke it down to you about having an apartment, doing this and that, how much money you actually like. Okay, you're working at this place and you're making X amount of dollars, and then you've got an apartment and you do this and blah, 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 and how much it costs. And then you're like, great, I live on my own. That was cool for like a week, right? Because that's about how long y'all's time frame lasts. Oh my God, the bills. So I can't spend any money, but I sit and watch TV and I'm trapped in my house. Balls, like this is horrible. So eventually I do like the fact that life is just a huge playground for y'all, because eventually it will. Like if I could just like the movie Click, where you had the magic remote control and go, and then see you at like 29, Jake, what's going on? Give me a bottle of milk and honey. Fuck my life. I would say the baby thing or whatever, but I
am. No,
Don't have the
I'm not
babies.
Gonna say I'm not gonna have kids because she says it and she's gonna have kids. Anyone that says that, they're gonna have kids automatically.
I told you the weird rule of 3.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't say it.
Yeah, don't, because every one of my friends, everyone's like, Jake, you seem to be good with pets and animals. You should have kids. I'm like, do you have any idea how old I am? I don't need kids. I'm in the glory years. I get to fuck off and do cool shit.
But what if this is your kid right here?
It very well could be. It very well could be. Didn't we have that where I was like, what does your mom look like? Did your mom ever go to Lucille's? Was she in the bars in like, in like 93? Like,
No, because I was thinking that at first when I first saw him. I was just like, oh my God. We just got done talking about Jake's
we
children.
could be related. Who knows? you
could
know?
be.
Get a DNA test.
No, there's no sense in knowing. Again, it's like Michelle's boyfriends. As long as they don't know, everything's cool. I can give them good advice. He comes by, hey, you want lunch? Sure, I'll get you lunch. I could be your father. That seems to be the responsible thing to do.
But here's the thing, though. He listens to you. He wears glasses like you. He got blonde hair like you. He has blonde arm hair like you. Like, you never thought, hey, my kid's right in front of me. What should I do?
Give him fucking good advice. And kick him out of the house. Fucking cool. Stay where you're at. Come in. We'll talk. I'll give you good advice. Sometimes good, sometimes not. Quit your job. Job sucks.
I cannot
You
believe you
live for
told him
the
to quit his
stories,
job.
good. You get stories here. You get.
That's
good
right.
Smoking and.
Yeah.
Get
I mean,
good
look.
advice.
Yeah, I try and dole out as much good advice as possible. I help people quit smoking. What else can I do? I'm no.
Encourage people to watch more porn.
No, it's kind of a personal bag. You do or don't. I mean, I did today. I told you I had to scuff up the infielder today before I came in. There's no sense walking around all pent up like that.
Have you ever done a thing where you would put peanut butter on your dick and your dog would just come and lick it off?
No, but okay, that was the pubic hair question from last time. It was coming. Actually, no, right? Because I'm not a fucking complete cretin and creep. But I do like peanut butter, right? Peanut butter is like especially when I'm dieting like crazy and I'm not eating any sugar or whatever. Peanut butter is a great treat because you need something that stays like it gets stuck in your mouth and you gotta. So I'll just like go take a scoop of peanut butter if I'm like, oh my god, I need like 2 ice cream sundaes and like half a cake right now. 2 scoops of peanut butter will take the edge off. Well, every now and again, I'll be like, fuck, I'm in the middle of watching something. I'll just grab the jar of peanut butter, right? And I've had the joke been told, right? Because the guy really likes his dogs. His dogs really seem to like him. They come in my room, and I've got the one shirt laying on my dresser or whatever, and then on my nightstand, I've got the peanut butter, and they're like, I don't even want to know. And I'm like, dude, I was hungry in the thing. I haven't eaten sugar in like 2 months. No, you got peanut butter on your. Nope. Dog has a weird look in your eye and whatever. But no, that's not my way.
But has any of your dogs ever licked peanut butter off of somebody?
Not peanut butter, jelly, and it was a horrible story a long time ago. And yes, this girl she ended up being really creepy or really innovative, however you look at it. But yeah, she did. We were way back in the day. My buddy and I, hey, do you want to sleep with so-and-so? And I was like, of course I would. She's a hot 19-year-old, right? And I was like, dude, why wouldn't I? She decides to, they come over. I call into work, right? Because that's responsible. Take a day off to bang a 19-year-old, right? Why wouldn't you?
Sounds like a good way to spend your day.
Right.
It really is.
It really, and again, my thinking also. So I did, and I went, okay. Well, we go in there, we do whatever. That's where one of the Winterbush stories came from, because we went in there. My buddy walks out of the room and went, no. We can. He was like, dude, that's the worst case of Winterbush I've ever seen. And I was like, dude, she's 19. How does she not, did she have a broken arm that couldn't reach and shave? I was like, creepy. So he went in and shaved her, right? He shaved her. He walks in with a bowl of water, a handful of shaving cream, and the crazy Mach 360 or whatever the version of it was at that time. And he walks in there, shaves her, does whatever. We get into a bunch of shenanigans. I'm not going to get into all that because I don't want to ruin y'all's existence with my crazy stories. But all the shenanigans happen. I'm sitting there. I'm having a drink. She's laying on the bed naked. My idiot friend decides to walk in the room, and he brings my dog. And this was my dog, Jesse James, from back in the day. One of the best dogs, right? Because all my dogs are the best. This is one of my best dogs. He's fucking awesome. He comes in, and I see my buddy walk in. He calls my dog in. And my dog runs in, and I'm like, no, I'm naked. Lady's naked. You're naked. Why is my dog in here? I'm like, Jesse, out. And as I said, Jesse, out, he takes the jelly and went and slapped it on her no-no place. And my dog jumped up and began to get the jelly. And it was the most horrible, everything slow motion, no, stop. I'm like, Jesse, no. And he's not even I'm not even there, right? I'm in a different realm. And he, I immediately grabbed him by his collar, whatever, looked at my buddy and was like, what in the hell is wrong with you? Why would you do something like this? Well, what? He really likes.
Every time he saw a girl, wouldn't he assume
hey, that's where the jelly comes from, right? Let's check it out and see if she's got jelly, right? My idiot friend had no thought process if my dog was going to be a creep for the rest of his life, because every time he saw something, he'd walk up with his nose and go doink and hit something looking for jelly, right? So, yeah, that wasn't cool. But then the weirdest thing out of the girl's mouth at that point was, oh, it's okay. Dogs' mouths are cleaner than humans' mouths and whatever. And I'm like, I'm dying inside, right? I'm dying inside. I'm like, no, I didn't need this to happen. Why are you saying this? So don't get me wrong. I continued to crank the chick. And even though I was mad at my buddy and whatever, and we finished, and yeah, but it was a real thing. It was a horrible scenario. Again, this is the weird shit that happens in my life. You can't make shit like this up. It's a whole long drawn out story, and it was kind of shenanigan, but I think I cliff noted it well enough. Winterbush, jelly, dog's mouth are cleaner than a human's mouth, and whatever. And then since we're into this, and I don't know if any of y'all will ever run into scenarios like this, but this chick became my buddies and my special.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah, just F buddy, right? It was weird. We had a Halloween party. Hey, what's going on? Hey man, watch the door. I'm gonna crank so and so. I'm like, okay. Well, I'm like, dude, just watch the door, and then you crank so and so. And I'm like, okay. I'm in the middle of the party, right? Like everyone's dressed. I'm fucking dressed like a pirate or something, right? Like the Captain Morgan's guy. And I'm like, the fuck? I got to stand by the door while he cranks away, and I can kind of hear. And I'm like, Not to mention we both had relations with the girl at the same time on multiple occasions. But that was it. If she was called, like, hey, what are you doing? You want to hang out? She would come hang out, and shenanigans would happen. And then whatever. And even if he drove her there, he would leave, and then nothing. I'm like, oh, great. So I've got to drive you home? Like, I've been drinking. Now I got to drive our random I'll hang out with you sex home, like in the middle of the night. It was not good. So that happened multiple times, right? Like, dude, it was a thing. Like, for 90 to 120 days, we had just an F puppet, right? She was nothing but our F puppet. She would, if you called her, she would come over, we could crank. Didn't really have to talk to her. I don't think I ever had a real conversation with her.
Damn.
Right? It was just, hey, what's up? Hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Hey, I'm going to, you know what, go ahead and whatever. I was like, okay, crank, high five. I think I said nice things to her. I'm very appreciative when the sexy time is happening. And then the weird thing was, two other of our buddies decided that they were going to try and do the same thing. So, again, I don't care, right? It's not my person. I don't know who this person, she's this cool chick who seems to be okay with that. One of those two falls in love with her and makes her his girlfriend.
How's that possible, though?
How is that possible? Now, look, I can make a lot of things okay in my head. Like, I can make a ton of things okay in my head. That, at that time frame, probably wouldn't. Like, my buddy, my other three buddies have all just, like, for the last, like, quarter of a year, have done the weirdest, creepiest, freakiest things ever with this person. And now I'm going to make it my girlfriend, and we're going to go to, like, cider mills and, you know what I mean, go pet goats at, cider mills and whatever, and go to Thanksgiving dinner with my family when, like, half of my buddies, I'm like, wow. But it happened. So my buddy, boom, there he goes. He's dating. So now she's like, no, when you call. And he didn't tell us either. It was just her one day. We were like, hey, what's going on? We're going to watch some football and whatever. Why don't you come over and, we hang out and we'll crank. I can't. I'm seeing so-and-so, whatever. And I'm like, you're doing what? So, of course, we called our other friend and whatever, and we found out. We were kind of mad at him. Like, when we saw him, we were like, dude, how did you steal? That was ours. You can't just, like, steal our F puppet, right? You can't just take it. Then you're going to marry it or something? Like, dude, you're ruining our good times. How dare you? And then we had to deal with her. So any relationships we were in, like in other times after that, here she is. All of our girlfriends are like, oh, you're so-and-so's girlfriend and whatever. And here she has, like, all the dirt on us in life.
She
like,
could easily have all of them dump your asses.
yes. Like, I remember being at a wedding. And going, oh, no. Like, I'm looking and I'm like, dude, there are all of our chicks sitting with that and whatever. And she eventually, I was scared. I was like, dude, please. I don't know her that well. I don't know. Can she keep a secret? Can she not keep a secret? She going to tell? I never told my chick, before I got with her that any of this happened. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's a big, like, oh,
What
by
the
the
fuck?
way. So I never really told, and she never told. And I remember having a conversation with her at a wedding, and I was like, dude, you could, like, ruin our lives right now and whatever. Like, it would just be so awkward. She was like, no, it was cool. We were all cool. We had good times. And I was like, holy crap.
She's so cool.
You're fucking so cool. I mean, you're borderline hooker, but you were fucking really cool. And I don't say that in any disrespect, right? Because I believe that,
That borderline hooking in school?
well, yeah. Well, I mean, why not? I mean, there's no money exchanged or whatever. You're just really friendly and happy with
That
it.
would be prostitution.
That's right. Well, hooker, what do you think hooker's a shortened down version of? But no, it was awesome. And you know what's funny with the invention, obviously Facebook and everything else, whatever. I look, one day I was like, oh, I wonder. And she popped up on, like, people you may know. And I went, fuck yeah, I know her. I was like, how awesome is this? And, hey, how are you? Blah, 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 like a nicety. Boy, I tried to get back in. Because the me now, I could date her now. I know all the creepy, cool shit she does. Like, she was, like, weird, crazy, like, sex goddess. Like, so much better than anything we were doing at the time. And I was like, dude, I could do that, right? I was like, I could why not? Yeah, did it a bunch. Screw all those dudes now, right? They're all married and whatever. I was like, I'll hang out with old so-and-so, right? And yeah, she was not buying it.
Why?
I don't know. She never, well, and it wasn't,
Get married?
no, she's out there scouring around. I eventually deleted her off Facebook because it was like, you won't let me come back and have sex with you. I was like, dude, I've had sex with you a lot in really weird circumstances. You should, how about one time for old time's sake? Yeah. And then nothing. And she didn't. I guess maybe wow, I really got crazy at 19, right? That's why you got to be cool-ish. Because sometimes, I don't know, but she wasn't cool on reciprocating the redo of Shenanigans. But I thought that would have been neat.
That actually would have been funny.
Dude, dude, the retap like that, that's an epic retap. Like, it was taken away prematurely. My buddy tried to do whatever, and of course they didn't last, right? Like, nothing does, right? That's why it's my advice to y'all is don't get too caught up in your relationships, right? They don't seem to last. In the world we live in, I know this guy, Johnny, Mr. Lover. But hey, I don't know. You could be the great white buffalo. You may be the one that makes it, last or whatever.
What are you talking about? There's literally 3 stages: beginning, middle, end. There is no happily ever after. If there is, they're only together because of the kids.
Well, you can never use the always and never. There's a possibility, right? There's a possibility.
Yeah, like a 1 in a million.
But there's some people that are totally cool. Like, you're my person. Cool. I'm gonna go tinker around in the garage and do whatever. Like they're totally cool with it. Look, I'm monogamous. If I could just find a chick who would let me be me, and it was funny because y'all, I think our friend on the Love Shack couch over there was like, dude, does your chick listen to this show? Like, does she listen? And I went, yeah, either she does or she doesn't. I don't know, right?
You don't care.
And I don't care.
I should just express my life.
No, and look, I'm done. I'm so done pretending like, oh, I'm going to be this and that. No, this is me. This is what you get. All right, I'm cool. I get up and go to work every day. I find interesting ways to make money. You just be cool and whatever and be nice to my dogs and like the sex. That's it. My list has gotten much shorter. Be good at the sexy time. Don't be a pain in the ass. And yeah.
Let you just be yourself.
And yeah. And dude, mind you, when the mic's on and I'm doing whatever, you guys are in here and you bring up a funny story. Of course I'm going to tell a funny story because I got a lot of funny stories. I've got a lot of creepy stories, i.e. the dog and the grape jam. But again, you brought that up. You brought it up.
How did I bring it up?
Why you got to be bringing
You
up
asked
old
about
shit?
Peanut butter.
Yeah, you went with the peanut butter. You tried to get creepy on the, with the
Because, for one,
spread.
The scoop just
you
helped
do
out.
have dogs. And 2, I assumed that you would have probably done that at least once in your life.
No.
Like,
That's
been
crossing.
That creep.
That's
No,
crossing.
He respects his animals. I mean,
Yeah, and I'm not attracted to animals. It's like, oh, have you ever blown a dude? No. Well, I thought maybe you would have done it one time in your life. No, I don't find dudes attractive. I don't like it. There's zero. There's nothing. I mean, it's just again, like that's a weird bridge to cross, like bestiality. Like you somehow. I think you guys asked about the whole water sports and peeing on stuff and whatever, and I went.
God.
It's like no. It was like, I mean, don't get me wrong. There was like a week there that I thought it would be funny, like in the shower, right? Because you don't want to make a mess anywhere else. But I got over it. It was only about a week. No R. Kelly here.
Really? You never had an R. Kelly moment?
Mm-mm.
You sure?
I'm positive. I thought about it. I did think about it for a week. And only because I'd run out of everything I could possibly do to this girl. We were together for a long time. And once you've done everything, like I'm fairly certain I made out with her armpit. I think I tried to hump like the back of her knee when her knee was closed. I mean, you name it, I think I tried to do it. So I don't know. Maybe I was like just looking at, if there's a book somewhere like, what else is there to do to this person? Yeah, people pee on people. How about you let me pee on you when you're in the shower, right? And you pretend you like it. Are you fucking serious? Okay, cool. I was just kidding. Well, not really, unless you were into it. And then it went away in like a matter of like 5 days.
Wait, but with the Naked Man segment, you and your girl were together in the other room. Your drunk friend, the Naked Man, was in the bathroom. He was there. You had to go to the bathroom. You didn't have your R. Kelly moment going to the bathroom.
I didn't have to pee. It was her that had to pee.
Oh,
That's why he had to get up. And he was like, dude, just go ahead and pee and whatever. And I was like, that's where I referenced. I was like, no, sir. I'm not going to pee over top of you and accidentally a couple dribbles fall off and, slow motion. And now I've got some weird fetish of wanting to pee on stuff. No. I was like, no, sir. And I thank you for allowing me to pee over top of you. That's very gracious of you. But no, it's the young lady who has to whiz, and I don't think she wants to, hovercraft over top of you. And that's where he got up and snail crailed out of the room.
That's very interesting.
Well, I don't know if I'd call it, well, yeah. I mean, the whole story was good and whatever. I told the story to my sister about my dad, and my dad was, good job, boy, when my dad, because, it was the first time my dad was passed out on the couch and I was having sex in the other room, and I told her to be, I was like, yeah, you don't have to be quiet. We got after it and whatever, and I was like, I'll show you, Pops, right? Old timer, show you how you get it done. Put on quite a performance, like, yeah, I mean, I went the extra mile, like I was doing,
Weird
yeah.
shit.
When
Yeah.
did you lose your virginity?
When I was 16?
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's normal, right? Like at 18, you're 16, you get a driver's license. At 18, you graduate high school or whatever, and you're a man. Or there's certain things like at 16, you should try and lose your virginity. You should start leaving it places to not find it.
I lost my virginity at 17 and graduated at 17.
Okay, so you were a little ahead of the curve.
Really? So you think I'm smart?
He said ahead of the curve.
I said, yeah.
Let's not go the extra mile.
Yeah, let's not get crazy. We did say ahead of the curve. With the amount of questions you ask me in this world, which is another thing dealing with y'all, that you ask weird questions, and I'm like, okay, so that thought went into your head, and it rattled around like a bubblegum machine, and then fell out of the mouth. You do know all the answers are in the magic computer box. Like in the same time and effort it took you to ask the question, you could have Googled it, right? And then you would have had multiple, you'd have had all kinds of answers.
No, but you're wise and semi-smart and like up there, so it's like, why not? Plus, it's like when I think about it, I'm like, what do I got to lose? What's he gonna do? Beat my ass over it? No, so I might as well ask it.
I mean, you put a funny twist on everything that you asked, though.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna put your life experiences behind it. We don't get that from Google.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't. But in that same token, it's the 35th question in an hour and a half. How many times do I yell at you and go, this is why I don't have children? Now I understand why you're here all the time. Because somebody's got to be like, what? Stop asking me questions. You remember Bad Santa where the kid keeps asking him questions? If not, reference the movie when you go home. It was a good movie. That's how I feel sometimes. I feel like Billy Bob Thornton with your, Jake, why was this? What is kook? I called her a kook. I was like, you're a kook, which is the nicest way of busting somebody's balls.
not.
It's an old school term. Like, I don't think anyone uses kook anymore. It hasn't, but it was easily found on Google, which you could not seem to find. I can't lie. The spelling threw me off. I was like, C-O-O-K. And I went, it's a cook.
Oh, I thought cock came up.
Oh, I did. Well, it's like Ted 2. You're only like three Google searches away from black cocks. But I did get a bunch of cock to pull up on my thing. Because then I went, see, and then I did something. It was cock this, cock that. It was like, no, not what I was looking for, pal. And then
Cook starts with a K.
yes, I don't know when the fuck you didn't even know the word existed.
But I knew how to spell it.
Okay, so you're a goddamn idiot savant in spelling. Like, you won a bunch of spelling bees. How's that working out for you, right? I know what the word means. I know how to use it in a
He
sentence.
calls me a poser.
No, that's just in the definition. Kook was weird, eccentric, zany, could be insane. We're gonna leave that one up to.
I mean, I'm just saying, her friend seems a little insane. He doesn't know yet.
What? Because he likes to buy his porn? He got the good shit. I mean, I find it creepy because we watch it together, but hey, it's not my house.
Yeah, no, she's a cool chick. She watches porn with people. That's a good friend.
No, I just didn't have my license at the time to go home.
So you were trapped.
So you're forced.
Basically, it's either sit there and watch this crap or walk my ass home. It was really cold that day. I'd rather take my chances.
So you watch the porn. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to invest in those Google, the crazy glasses thing, because my buddies said they ordered it online and it, it took like a week to get there, but they paid like nothing for it. So I wouldn't pay like $150 to have weird virtual porn because I'm an adult, right? I could look down and realize that that's not my fucking legs. Dude's got black hair going to his belly button as the girl's doing weird shit to him. Like, I know it's not me. But it is kind of nifty. But the world of like, look, it gets a smidgen better. You'll see me staying in a lot more. I got to save the monies. I need to buy the sex robot or the crazy super goggles or whatever is good.
Interesting.
Yeah, you started it.
That's because I'm interesting.
Oh, you're interesting, all right.
like why not?
Yeah, just like the 7 foot tall guy. You got him again today.
He was tall as all get out. I know you were like, what the fuck? Like, what do you have to do?
He didn't seem like as tall today.
He was like tall enough to be the size of a baby giraffe.
Yeah,
that
he's
was
like
crazy.
He's 6'11". That's a tall
He's
dude.
like 7 foot. No, even when he got on his knees, he was like my
Is
height.
that the girl's equivalent? Like every guy's like, fucking bang a midget, right? Like, is that a chick like I want to bang a fucking 7 foot tall
yeah.
giant?
Don't you want to climb that?
I wouldn't know.
Like, if you saw
no,
a really
personally,
tall
no.
girl,
Never had that thought cross.
No, like if you
my
saw
mind.
a really tall girl, and she was hot and skinny and had nipples and the size of like baby Jesus or whatever, you wouldn't be like,
You said
shoot,
nipples,
I wonder
girl.
what would
I like
happen
it.
if I climbed that. Like,
I'm not into. I would be more on the side of like micro woman, like midget. If it was all hot like that, and it was tiny, sure, right? Because I like 5'1" ish, 5'3". You give me that, that's good. Like it freaks me. I mean, I'll date a girl who's 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", but it's weird when you've built a long history of just, and you've been in long relationships. You roll over and you're cuddling your person, right? And
she's taller than
if you were happen to reach down and grab a certain body part or reach over and grab something, it's all in the same spot. If you're like 5'1" to 5'3", 5'4", right? Everything's there. Even the sex positions, you burn this and you wiggle around or whatever, it's all there. But when you mess with someone who's like 5'8" or 5'10", which I have, everything's in the, like you go to grab something or you go to grab their leg, and instead of grabbing like their knee, like you go to grab like right where their knee bends, the nape of the knee. Google that, right? Grab the nape of their knee and it's not, and you're grabbing like their hamstring. Like everything's in weird spots. Or you go to put the legs up or something, you put the legs up and it's just the legs are there and then there's like feet dangling and you're like, every other time I put the legs in that position, the feet weren't here. So it's just kind of what you like. But yeah, super tall, no, I'm not. Like there would be no, like guys don't sit around. I got 2 other dudes in here, right? Like, guess what? If you had the conversation like, dude, guess what I did last night? I banged a midget. Guess what I did? I banged a 6'2", 6'2" chick, right? And it's not the same.
what about obesity?
The Hagen story that we listened to a few minutes ago, right? Nobody's done that. I mean, you do it for story's sake or when your friends, force you to do it. Okay, here's a weird thing. Amputees. I had a buddy of mine bang a chick with one leg. Now, mind you, when she was in the house, she had 2 legs, or looked like 2 legs. Just looked like she had a really bad limp, right? And he said, and it was weird because she was kind of like weird and abrasive, and she was all right looking, not like crazy hot, but he ended up like cranking this, whatever. So we get a phone call in the morning. He was like, dude, he was like, that chick that was over had 1 leg. And we were like, stop it. And he was like, no, we went into, hey, blah, blah, blah. And she didn't like tell him until they were undressing. Like they're making out, whatever. And she went to pull her pants down and she was like,
By the way,
this leg is wooden or plastic or whatever the hell they make the shit out of. And he was like, well, fuck it, we're here, I guess. And he was like, and of course the questions came like rapid fire. We were like, so when you were doing it and whatever, like, was the little nub like spinning around, like, was it moving about? And he was like, oh yeah, dude, the fucking stump was going places and whatever. And he seemed kind of okay with it. So I don't know, would it, I guess a dude with 1 leg, I guess that's not too trippy for a chick, right?
Like that wouldn't, because I'm the kind of person I am. It's like that would be one hell of a story. Like I'm not gonna lie, that'd be one hell of a story to tell someone. Like I mean to do 1 leg.
I did all kinds of crazy things with that leg. The stump is amazing. You need to go get yourself a stump. Yeah, I had a buddy of mine who also dated a girl and had sex with a girl who was paraplegic, like in a wheelchair. I think I could date a wheelchair chick as long as everything, the stuff was functional down there, right? Right? You just move the legs around and you get to pick her up. You come here, you get over here. I'm out of here. No, you're not. You can't go anywhere. You can't fucking wheel fast enough to get away from me. You stay here and you simmer down. But yeah, he did that, and that was weird. And I think we were like 15 or 16, and he was dating the girl in a wheelchair or whatever, and just like nothing, no feeling from like belly button down. And then the legs atrophy and get small and whatever, which would have kind of like freaked me out a little bit. But he did that. We got caught. Okay, here's good other Jakey stories that I don't really think of. My buddy tells me, he's like, my chick and whatever and blah, blah, blah. We're going to go over her house. So we go there. There's supposed to be another chick, and there's another chick there, but she's whatever, right? Just hit or miss. So I'm there, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. As long as there's another female, right? I'm cool to hang out. So we're over there and whatever. And she's like, oh, you guys can sleep here and everything. Cool. We sleep there. The parents come home. So we're in the bedroom, right, with the wheelchair girl and her friend, and we're in there. And I think my buddy was making the squeaky with the wheelchair girl. I think maybe I was just doing some heavy petting. Like I said, I was a quiet, reserved guy or whatever. I don't know this girl.
Except when it came to the ladies.
No, not then. I think I was like 15. I didn't even have a driver's license. So yeah, I was 15. So, and it was in Texas, and we're in there and whatever. And I gotta pee. I've got to pee like a racehorse, probably because of a whole lot of heavy petting with the girl and whatever. So eventually there's a reason somehow some water built up in that area. So I'm like, I got to pee, right? So I'm like, I got to pee. And the wheelchair girl's like, well, just walk down the hall. Just be quiet. Go in there and pee. And I was like, your parents' bedroom is at the end of the hallway. And I go, you do understand I'm a guy, right? It's going to sound a little different when I pee. And according to you, I pee extremely loudly.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So this story's going horribly wrong, right? So I walk down the hall and I'm like, ding, 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 and I'm scared like crazy. I don't even know if I can pee when I get to the bathroom, and I'm half tempted to pee in the shower, like in the bathtub, because I found if you pee, I've had to take phone calls before on the phone, and it would be like for business or like with a new girl you started dating or whatever, and I don't want to like pee or tell her, oh, hold on or whatever, because the conversation's going good. So I kind of want to keep the conversation going. So if you pee as a guy into the shower, right? If you pee into the shower as the tub goes like that and you pee kind of like a luge or, you know how they bobsled and they go, if you pee on the curve of the shower, makes no noise. It's silent. So I'm like, nice. Right? And you just got to remember, right? If you forget, you walk in and your bathroom smells like pee. But as soon as you're done with the phone call, you go turn the shower on real quick because we're guys. You pee in the shower, right? If you got to pee and you're in the shower, you pee.
Just go.
Yeah, right? Of course. That's what we do. I don't know what you lady types do, but that's what we do.
Not that.
So I go down the hallway and I'm like, oh, all right, I'm going to do this. So I'm whizzing and I'm trying to whiz like on the side, but it's a weird bowl. I don't know this bowl. I don't even think I turned the light on, right? Like I'm like, dude, if somebody comes in here, I'm just going to stand behind the shower curtain, like a creepy horror movie. So I pee and I'm like, do I flush or do I not flush? Right? If I flush, I draw more attention to myself. Again, talking about the overthinking and watching the weird. So I'm like, if I flush, they're going to go, oh, Susie's up or whatever her name is and come check on her or whatever, right? So maybe I don't flush. Did they hear me pee? Maybe they didn't hear me pee. I'm going to go with they didn't hear me pee because I peed on the side. I know there was some dribble or whatever, but I don't know. So I don't flush. So I come out and I go back in the room and we lay down. I think I've got this, right? And she's like, lock the door behind you, right? I'm saying, lock the door. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh. So everything's cool, and all of a sudden the hallway light clicks on. The door handle. I'm like, oh. I look. Hey, how come you didn't flush the toilet? I'm like, no. I was like, my 15-year-old me had not watched enough like CSI episodes to figure out that you flush, right? And just, I don't know, make wheelchair sounds going back down the hall or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, squeaky squeak. I don't know. I didn't know how to cover my tracks past that, right? What do you do? So, hey, blah, 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 and whatever. Why is your door locked? Is there anybody in there and whatever? So we just, screw this. So we get up, whatever. The dad is doing the, boom, boom on the door. And I'm like, I'm like pulling my britches up. And I'm like, what do we do? What do we do? My buddy's like, get out the window. So I guess we're going out the window, right? I've never jumped out of a window. Dude, as I'm like one leg out of the window, my buddy's letting me go first, right? He's a good dude, right? So I got one leg out the window and I'm like, oh, I look, there's this dad dude, right? Dad dude is in the doorway, light behind him, which made him look even more ominous than he probably was. He could have been this tall, right? But he looked big in the shadow. You know how like, what the hell? I'll kill you and whatever. That sounds pretty like you've got a disabled child and two dudes in a room with her and her friend, and that sounded real. Like I thought real quick. I hit pause and went, yep, I'd kill these kids. I was like, I'm going to die. Not cool. So I can't even like get my other leg out. I think my buddy just pushes me, so I fall like thunk. My buddy comes flying out on top of me. And we're scrambling, right? We're, run. Dude, the dad sticks his head out the window with a shotgun, right? And this isn't in like a farmhouse. This is in a subdivision. This is in like the equivalent of being in Canton, although it was in Texas, with an angry dad with a shotgun. He's got one leg out, right? He looks like he's jumped out this window a time or two before. I don't know if this girl's promiscuous or whatever. Maybe she has a lot of gentlemen callers, but he's given chase excellently. So we're running, right? And I'm 15. My buddy, I'm faster than my friend, and I'm scared, right? And I peed, right? So I'm a little bit lighter. So he looks at me and goes, take the keys, start the car. Jake doesn't drive cars. I'm 15. My buddy's 15 also, but he's Hispanic and is like raised by wolves. So he had a car, no license. I don't know. That's how they did things. So I go running, and it was like every like one of those like old school movies like Starsky and Hutch or whatever, where you run and like Dukes of Hazzard, slide over the hood. I slid over the hood of the car. Boom. Of course nothing's working, right? You got the keys and you're going, they won't go in the thing. I'm like, fucking, yeah, what is happening? And it was cool because it was a fast car, right? So this makes the story better. It was a Z28, and it was one of those old, I think I talked to you, my buddy had a green Z28, and it was neat, and 350 and whatever.
Yeah, that's like on my car. That's what you told me.
So, yeah. So boom, I jump in, I start the key. I'm half tempted to tear off because I got a dude with a shotgun, angry dad, my buddy who is oddly not fast. Because I'm in the car with the key on, car in drive, and I'm like, dude, seriously, why are you not here? So I reach over and I grab it had the weird handle thing, so I grab the handle and I kick the door open, and I'm beginning to pull out, like, dude, seriously, you got to get here. I hear gunshots, I'm gone, I'm leaving my friend, like, sorry, I'll go back and explain to your parents that I came home with the Z28 and you didn't have it or whatever. So he runs, barely gets in the car, tear off. The dude doesn't like shoot at us, I guess because he's in a subdivision or whatever, but I've never been so scared in my life. Therefore, dating people with handicaps doesn't seem to be a good idea because my only experience did not go too well. Actually, I was just there. My friend was doing it. So, yeah.
My buddy was telling me how he dated a girl with a glass eye. I thought that was pretty odd, He's like, all of a sudden, she would just hit the back of her head and her eye would pop out.
Shut up.
No.
What the hell?
That's a neat trick.
He's like, during Halloween, this is what she would do all the time. She'd dress up as something. The kids would come to the door and they'd be handing out candy. He's like, I'm 17. She hits the back of her head and like she's holding her eye at the same time. Like she go boom, and all of a sudden the kids just go off tearing down the street running.
Yeah, no, dude, it is an unsettling thing to see somebody's eye socket. I had a weird cab driver in Tennessee. My dad found the guy. He was like, we're going to go back to the hotel. We got this guy. I'm like, where did you find a weird cabbie? Like, we're in a bar that was like in Nashville. They've got this thing called Printer's Alley. Then you go down this alley and there's random bars. So my dad somehow befriends a one-eyed cab driver. And not like the dude had a patch, just a wide open eye socket. Like, and I'm wasted, right? And I'm like, oh, there you go. I was like, you missing something, partner? Right? Like I'm saying every stupid thing I could think of. I was like, hey, what? You know what? I was like, dude, I want to give you a wet willy in your fucking eye socket and the worst. And he's like, oh, you don't want to do that, boy. And so I'm like, and I'm looking at my dad and he's like, it's cool. I got us a cab. I went, dude, I appreciate we're not driving at this moment, but you went and found the one fucking one-eyed cab driver that doesn't even have the goddamn common decency to stick a fucking marble, a goddamn, a golf ball, something. Put a patch on, be a goddamn pirate, sir. But I'm looking at you in the rearview mirror. I'm in the back, and I'm looking at your fucking dead eye socket, and it's creeping me the fuck out.
Wait, so if I hit Rick in the back of the head, do you think his eye will fly out?
He said he's like sneezed hard and his eyes come out and whatever, so it's a thing.
Oh shit!
I don't know, maybe.
Dude, you know how hard it is to not make jokes with the old school Rick, the old dude who comes in, right? The cool old dude, man. He's kind of a trip, but God, I'm like, hey, he was like, well, what's that over there? And I'm like, it's fucking right there. And he was like, God damn it, I've only got one eye. And and of course then the one eye jokes go, and I give him 2 or 3 one eye jokes, and he's like, oh, pick on the guy with one eye and whatever. And I'm like, you brought it up, sir. Like, I wasn't gonna like eye bash you.
No, that's the same thing he did when you said, I like black girls. He's like, what? Why are you being racist and prejudiced towards the white man? I'm like, what?
I'm leaving more white women for y'all. Y'all can have them.
Rick's told me the weirdest stories. He's like, girls have lips, right? He's like,
Oh my
guys
God.
have lips. Then what's the difference between a girl and a guy doing that?
Oh yeah, no.
That's the crazy thing. He says he's straight and just your everyday child molester, but he's gonna come and talk about how, because one time we were in here, me and him were talking, and I'm a trip, so I'm like, of course I'm gonna get him all riled up. He was laughing so hard. He literally almost died. He was choking and dying. Mike was just sitting there on his phone, and then he looks up. He's like, what the fuck did you do? I'm like, I don't know. He's dying. And we're just staring at him. He's like, and you guys don't even try and save my life? I didn't think I should.
Yeah, like after he like stopped hyperventilating and almost dying.
Too hard, your eye pops out.
Yeah, we didn't want to knock the eye out. I know you're sensitive about that, sir. Well, I come in like later that day or like a day after, and he was like, man, I almost died in here and did whatever, and nobody helped me. And he looked at me, and I went, yeah, well, what do you want? And he was like, you wouldn't help me either, would you? He goes, you know what? I hope you fucking choke. He goes, I won't help you. He was like, no, I'll help you. And he was like, I forget what he said.
He would take your wallet, but instead of just taking your wallet and leaving, he'll take your wallet and rape you because you're a pretty boy. I'm like, what the hell?
I went, excuse me, sir? I was like, he was like, well, it'll do one or two things. It'll either come to or, I'll give you a good ride on the way out. And I was like, so if I choke and whatever, you're going to try and hump me, right? Like this is happening?
I don't know. He's told me some weird stories about his bike, his biker